Why? Good morning, y'all. Putting on my boots out here. It's a little bit cooler today. Well, it's not really cooler, but the humidity is lower. Of course, I'm already sweating because I've already been out putting out hay, cleaning water troughs, feeding everything, and chasing goats. It's always a goat rodeo here at G&G. But everybody is satisfied and happy right now. So I'm putting on my socks, gonna put on my boots, and then I'm going to finish taking down the corn. So the corn is already come and gone. I've already got it in the freezer. So the next thing I'm gonna do now is I'm about to plant some contender bush beans. I got those from Hoss also, and I should have a crop of green beans. Now the peas, I've got to gather them today. They are almost gone. This might be the last picking on them. So when I pull them up, probably going to plant another crop of pink eye purple whole peas just so that I can have enough in the freezer for the winter time. So here we are. We're going to go out here. We're going to get this done. And then I'm going to show you what we are planning to do the rest of the week. It's a brand new project, and there'll be another video about us actually doing that. But I want to also say I have not put out a video now. It has been probably a week and a half or maybe 2 weeks. But please don't give up on me. I put out 2 videos the week before, and I'm going to try to start doing that occasionally, putting out 2 videos. So be looking for the extra one. Things hopefully will slow down a little bit. But we left and went to the beach. We had a conference there for the Alabama Conservation Enforcement Officers Association. It was a wonderful weekend. We had a great time. But when I came back, I had a very, very dear friend of mine that passed away suddenly. And we had the funeral that week, and it just kind of took a toll on me because I loved her so much. She is really the one who taught me, the one that I paid attention to. My grandma canned a lot, and as a child, you just don't pay attention. But this lady, when I lived next door to her, she took me under her wing as a young girl, and she taught me to really can. She taught me about preservation, and she just meant the world to me. So it hit me pretty hard that she passed because I didn't get to see her often since we've moved here. But she and I had talked recently, and she was planning a trip to the farm. She just really wanted to see everything and kind of getting together on what vegetables she was going to take home with her. So after she passed, I was kind of in my own little world for a little bit and just kind of mourning her loss. I just needed to know that I said something positive to her. And so I looked back at the last thing I texted her. And y'all, the last thing she heard from me was how she taught me to can, and that I hung on every word she said, and that she made a difference in my life. She got to hear that from me before she died. I'm so glad that I said something to uplift her. And anyway, here we are. We have to move on with life. But I'm gonna dedicate this video to Charlotte because she was a big part of my life, and you just don't ever know when you're gonna lose someone that you love so much. She was a second mother to me, and she knew it. I always told her that. So anyway, this is for you, Charlotte. Let's go and pull some corn up. finish up and get it loaded, all the corn stalks loaded up on the side by side, and then I'm gonna take it, and the goats are gonna have a feast today. Well, goats, Nellie, Sophie, and Dixie, they all love corn stalks. Let's go put it in the goat pasture. The pasture has had no rain, and normally I turn the goats out every day to free range. This past week they were in my backyard. I let it grow up, and I mean it got like really high. Turned the goats in there for a few days. They had plenty to eat. They have mowed it down. Now there's no grass in the backyard. So I put them back in the pasture today so that I could harvest the corn stalks and they could clean those up. But after they do, they'll go right back out, and you can see behind me how much there is to eat back there. So I'm gonna let them free range, and tomorrow we'll be making a trip to Tractor Supply for that project that I was telling you about, where we're going to rotational graze the goats, and every day I will let them in a new pen and they can clean up the CRP on the other 80 acres out there. Plenty to eat. Now, Nellie is on a wintertime diet. She gets fresh hay every day and grain, so she's keeping her weight up. I just can't rotationally graze Nellie because I would never be able to catch her if she got out here. She would just be gone. So that's how we're doing it here on the farm right now. And I'll show you, I'll turn the camera around and show you what it looks like in the pasture compared to what it looks like out there. Okay, you can see it is totally brown. We have had zero rainfall, and it has been so long since we've had rain that there's absolutely zero grass left out there. That is some weeds right in there, and Hut does have a little grass left in his. I'm about to go give him some corn stalks, and if he eats all the remaining grass before we get another rain, which we've got a chance here in the next 2 days of getting another rain, but if he happens to eat all that in the meantime, we will be rotationally grazing him also, just at a different time than the does, or in a separate rotational pen than the does. But you can see why we are free ranging. It is just so dead. So the only thing that I have to do is make sure that they have water accessible, and I have the old metal tub that I had sitting over there that I just take wherever the goats are grazing for the day. Now let me take you over here and look. Can y'all see how much is out there? Just 80 acres of nothing but wild vegetation. And it's the good stuff. It's briars, it's lespedesia, which is a natural dewormer for goats. And it is just so plentiful. Look at all the brush out there. They can just get lost out there. Now they've been coming into this old garden field spot here. It really did die out because there's been no rain, so we're not going to be getting anything off of this field. It is not irrigated at all. And you can see the edges. They've cleaned the edges up already out here. But this is where the first rotational pasture that we put up is going to be in that area right over there where all the Lespedeza is, because it is so healthy for the goats, and we would really love for them to clean that area up. So the rotational pens are going to be probably 16 by 32 because we're going to use 16-foot cattle panels. So it's going to be 16 by 32 for the pens. As soon as they get all of the brush cleaned up in one pen, we will be moving them to a different spot. And so it's going to just be really easy for me to just kind of rip it up. We're not going to put the post in very deep. We're going to rip it up and start building in a different location to put them in the next day. So you can kind of see where we're at on that. This grazing versus that grazing. And until it rains, Nellie will have to be on a wintertime diet of grain and hay, but she likes that. So I just put fresh hay out this morning. As you can see, the geese that Brooke and Mary Carl brought over here are loving their new home. They are currently standing over there by the feeder, which means they have either cleaned it up or they are about to eat. We will go check that here in just a few. Now the pond is way down, but it is still deep enough for the geese to enjoy and the duck to enjoy. We are having a blast with the geese. The geese's names are Gus and Mary Ann. So Gus is after the goose that lived where I lived on the lake, and Mary Ann is named after the lady who took care of them. So there is Gus and Mary Ann. Y'all, Daisy has been amazing. So she's gained a lot of her weight back, and it is so funny because Daisy thinks she's a dog. She's always thought she's a dog. So she started this last night. She must feel really, really good. That and the humidity started dropping. So Daisy will take off running, and she'll do this like little curly cue jump and just has a good time. I'm going to try to get it on camera when she does it. I never have my camera with me when she's doing it, but she's very playful. So last night she got the zoomies, and she zoomed around and she jumped and she twisted her head. And Daisy always looks like she's laughing at you. She's got these teeth that stick out underneath. So anyway, just have to be there. But Daisy is so funny right now, and I'm so glad that she's gaining her weight back and that she feels so good. So the treatment that we did on Daisy actually worked, and I'm so grateful that we still have Daisy with us. However, I'm going to do my best not to let her get bred again, because it was very, very close, too close for comfort with Daisy, and I just would really prefer to have Daisy around than a whole bunch of babies from her. So, can y'all see? She's sneaking up on me. Where's she at? Oh, there she is. She's right there. She's sneaking over here. She hears me talking. She said, I got to go find out what Catherine's saying. Okay, y'all. So, projects in the work. Goats are being fed a good meal. It takes a lot of time, but hey, that's all we got is time, right? We are going to make sure they are taken care of. They are fat and happy, and hopefully forget their goats. Like Daisy. Y'all farm on.